Greetings. It's a Tuesday today. Beautiful day. The struggle continues for our children. The struggle continues for our parents, both mothers and fathers. And in one of the conversations I had yesterday, it was more about the accountability and responsibility of parents to their children. Their accountability and responsibility to make the right choices. And I found it interesting that we normally want to give them the accountability and responsibility. However, when service providers, in this case your police, your magistrates, your social workers, when they come to a point where they actually want to put the accountability of proper parenting and communication solely on the shoulders of those in conflict, mothers or fathers, they seem to forget that by coming into the picture, they themselves are changing the dynamics. Simply put, what I'm trying to say is, when the police are called into a home to come and execute a certain order, be it a warrant of arrest, that order basically is on the assumption that the couple couldn't resolve the problem. The mother and father couldn't resolve the problem on their own. However, when they come in, they do not bring in conflict resolution tools. They just bring in punishment. So if social workers only want to bring punishment and say you ought to know what's in the best interest of the child, then how do we balance their bringing on the punishment and their judgmental position against the fact that they are actually coming to exert a certain law or coming to exert a certain power? I mean, when the magistrate looks down at one, gender-based violence for instance, when the magistrate looks down at a perpetrator, there's an order that comes out of that. There's an instruction that comes out of that. Is that instruction aligned with empowering the person, or in the instruction only looking at the punishment? Point in question, if we say a mother and father are separating or divorcing, when the divorce matter comes to court, first and foremost, even before it gets to finalization, when whatever matters are being listened to, are the magistrates, the social workers involved, really looking at saying, where is the child at this point in time? Should they be looking at it? Or should that be left to the two parents who are obviously in conflict? Should it be left to the two people who are obviously not communicating at the level that could save their marriage, and thus probably at a level that could enable them to co-parent? I'm the last person to say the state must take care of your children, but I'm the one person who's going to say, if the state wants to come in and intervene, if the state wants to empower me as a parent to be able to can have access to a protection order that upsets the living style, that upsets the living conditions, they should in the same breath look into that effect and advise on that effect. Basically, if a man gets a protection order that says the woman must leave the house, the protection order must also state what happens to the children, because it is actually exerting that. It is actually coming and imposing a certain rule on it. That's my take. Parents remain responsible, but when they are in conflict and they are being unreasonable, how do we exert the law that would just exacerbate the situation? How do we exert a law that would actually say parents need to do whatever they need to do, or one parent who's asking for relief needs to get whatever they're getting, and we don't consider what the children need at that time? It's not my call, it's for everyone to decide.